September 23rd, 1889, a small company called Nintendo was founded, producing Hanafuda playing cards for the people. 100 years later, that same company was one of the pioneers of video games, launching the Nintendo Entertainment System, the Game Boy, and a year later, the Super Famicom would also be released to the public in Japan. While 100 years of history and multiple massive console launches may seem like a cause for celebration, a former Nintendo developer has shed some light on the anniversary, revealing that Nintendo didn't even celebrate it. So my question is, why didn't Nintendo celebrate its 100th year? According to the US Census Bureau, it reported that only about 12% of companies are older than 26 years. The prevailing theory, though unconfirmed, is that only about 0.5% of all companies have what it takes to last 100 years, but take that information with a grain of salt. Let me introduce you to video game designer and manga artist creator Takaya Imamura. He worked at Nintendo from 1989 until retirement in 2021. He gave some information in an article as to why Nintendo didn't celebrate its 100th anniversary. Some background on Takaya is that he developed characters and the story of F-Zero, including Captain Falcon and most of the supporting characters from the Star Fox series of video games. He also played a role in designing games in the Legend of Zelda series, such as The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Anyways, in this article, he shares some details on what it was like joining and working for Nintendo around that period. I quote, "I joined the company in the year of Nintendo's 100th anniversary. At that time, society as a whole was in a bubble, so companies would take students who had secured employment on trips and throw parties to keep them from losing out. But Nintendo did nothing. We didn't even celebrate our 100th anniversary, and it was a company that never got carried away," Imamura said. So why didn't Nintendo celebrate its 100th year anniversary? Well, it's a bit complicated. You see, the Nintendo president at the time was Hiroshi Yamauchi, and throughout his years at Nintendo, he tried to make sure the company would not go bankrupt. According to Imamura, he said that Yamauchi was at the core of his approach. It was keep calm when you're happy, keep calm when you're unhappy. No matter how well the company was doing, Yamauchi would always speak harshly to employees. Of course, this was because Yamauchi had failed in many businesses. But toys and games are a business that was doing well for the most part. Hearing Yamauchi's strong and persuasive words made me think, you have to make good, interesting things to sell, right? This makes sense. Yamauchi was involved in many different ventures like the taxi industry and a vacuum cleaner. He was also involved in establishing a food company in partnership with two other firms with a product line featuring instant rice. No matter how good or bad the company was doing, Yamauchi would keep moving forward and produce new products to see what sticks. It wasn't until the 1960s, products like 10 Billion Barrel Puzzle, a baseball throwing machine called the Ultra Machine, and a love tester sold well and made Nintendo a good amount of money. Eventually, Nintendo released the first solar-powered light gun called the Nintendo Beam Gun. In 1970, this was the first commercially available light gun for home use, produced in partnership with Sharp, an electronics company. Some cool information I was able to find was a page in the American magazine Nintendo Power, issue number 7, page 92, that did mention its 100th year anniversary. Anyways, do you feel like Nintendo should have celebrated more of its 100th year anniversary, or is it not a big deal? Maybe in the year 2039, Nintendo might do something for its 150th year anniversary. If you made it to the end of this video, see you next time and thanks for watching.